Robertson says his future at Liverpool is yet to be decided. His contract expires in the summer as well. He admits he's been a bit frustrated by his lack of playing time. This is what he said: "I've got 5 months left and we need to see the option to stay or if there's options to go. I need to see what myself and my family want moving forward. I've given absolutely everything for the club for the last 8.5 years and the club have been very good to me. I do have a different role here this season, which I'm getting enjoyment out of, but at the end of the day, footballers want to play. And if anyone is sat happy on the bench, then they don't belong at any football club. Maybe I've not played as much as I would have liked, but it's nothing I've been surprised by. Let's see what happens." What do we think will happen, Dharmesh?
This is really interesting because this came to a head in the summer, because once Liverpool had signed Milos Kerkez from Bournemouth, Atletico Madrid, you'll remember, came in for Andy Robertson. And Robertson at the time actually said that that move could have happened at one point, but he weighed everything up, his personal and family. He brought that into the equation as well as his football and said, "Do you know what? I'm settled here."
And didn't Slot want to keep him too? He made a real point of it.
And because of the experience that he brings as well, even though he says he's not surprised because he knew that Milos Kerkez coming in, he was going to be almost playing second fiddle to Milos Kerkez because Arne Slot was going to pick him ahead of Robertson. And so it's proved he's been restricted to 4 Premier League starts so far this season. But he chose to stay. That he knew. He went there with his eyes wide open. He chose to stay and fight for his place. 4 Premier League starts is what he's alluding to there. I haven't played as much as I wanted to. I think this one will get revisited in the summer when he's a free agent, because at the moment he could actually speak to clubs outside the Premier League if he wanted to and sign a pre-contract agreement, which we don't often see players in that position do. They tend to wait until the summer and then renegotiate with another club, or because we're hearing that the talks are underway with Liverpool over a new contract, he could end up yet staying there still.
Would be weird seeing him in a different shirt, wouldn't it? Right.
Arne, first of all, obviously Andy Robertson has spoken about his future. I just wonder what you hope happens with Andy, with him being out of contract, because he says that he has a different role here this season that he's getting enjoyment out of, but ultimately he wants to play.
Yeah, no, I think... oh, you don't have a chair? I think I have to give him a big compliment about the things he said. Very mature, and I could understand everything he was saying. So I think every player should have the same feeling about his current position, and that is that he's not starting every game. But I'm really happy that he also says that he finds joy in the position he's in, and that he also understands how important he is. He's been to this club for all these years, and he's definitely still is also in the position where he's in now. And he did play quite a lot of games, not as much as he probably hoped. But the way he's acting, and he's also now comments in the media, is a big compliment and says a lot about him. How good he's been for this club in the past 8.5 years.
Obviously, you're about to get Mo Salah back from the African Cup of Nations as well. I just wonder how much of a positive is that for you, and how do you keep him happy so that there is a distraction again, as there was prior to his departure for the competition?
Now, first of all, he needs to play another big game for Egypt on Saturday, and then he comes back to us, and I'm happy that he comes back because, similar to Andy, Mo has been so important for this club, for me. So I'm happy that he's back, because it's even if I had 15 attackers, I still would have been happy if he would have come back. But that's not our current situation. So happy to have him back after an important game that he still has to play. An
important game again for you guys. 11 games unbeaten now. What's the next step that you feel you have to take now?
No, ideally it's not 11 games unbeaten, it's 11 wins in a row. And that's always where you're aiming for, if that is realistic. It might be for some teams. I think Villa won a lot of games in a row. But from where we were when we conceded the 4th goal against PSV, and then where we are now, I think we're in a much better place. But there's still enough room for improvement, but that room for improvement was there also last season when we were top of the league and top of the Champions League in this period of time.
Can they afford to lose him at the moment? Because wasn't it Arne who came out the other day and said, hang on, I need more in defence? Yeah, they're struggling for defensive options right now. Darmish is right to point out that he's only started 4 Premier League games this season, but he's played 20 times in all competitions. He's clearly still an important squad player this season. He's in quite an interesting position because it's clear that he has been replaced by Milos Kerkez, but you wonder how valuable that experience he has is going to be for Liverpool moving forward. He's still a really good left-back. He's not quite the player he was when he burst onto the scene at Liverpool. He's not going to get those similar opportunities, you wouldn't think. So it's up to Andy Robertson, if Liverpool do indeed offer him a contract, whether he's happy to be a squad player at one of the biggest clubs in the world, or he sees himself being a key player for another big club. I think Liverpool are going to be in a situation either way where they need to make a decision in terms of trying to extend Andy Robertson's contract for 1 or 2 years, or in the summer you think they would have to buy another left-back because we've got Kostas Tsimikas coming back from his loan spell. I don't think his future remains at Anfield. I think he left because he wants more first-team opportunities. So it's whether financially it makes more sense. If they still think Andy Robertson is at a level that can compete at left-back for Liverpool when required, whether they try and keep him on, and that wouldn't cost a transfer fee, or you spend what would be a significant amount of money to sign a Milos Kerkez deputy.
It really does feel like that area of the pitch in defence for Liverpool is going to be so key for them. Maybe even in this month, but definitely in the summer, because if Andrew Robertson is no longer at the club, Ibrahim Konate, even though there are talks over a new contract, he's into the final 6 months of his contract as well. Virgil van Dijk is getting a little bit older, even though he has signed a new contract. They will want to get players in the central defensive positions, and now, of course, at full-back as well. So definitely an area to watch for Liverpool and could be a big priority for them come the summer.
A lot of teams want this guy. Well, Marc Guehi, the question is whether it's in January, whether it's in the summer. Where do you think he should go?
City have to go all the way for him this month, for me. Now, obviously, if you're Marc Guehi, you're probably more sensible waiting until the summer, having your pick from really anywhere you want. City have got to make themselves irresistible. And I think when you look at where they are, you look at the fact that Ruben Dias remains a formidable central defender, but has had his fitness and form problems over the last little while. John Stones, we never know if we're getting real John Stones back. Get someone to build your defence around, and he's the guy.
Yeah. Will he go January or in the summer?
Summer, definitely. Again, Oliver Glasner didn't want to sell him in the summer, wanted him for this year. I don't see him relinquishing his captain for the next 6 months. He's a true professional, Marc Guehi. I think what's interesting, though, it's been, 2 weeks since the January window's open. He's been open and had opportunities to discuss a contract with clubs outside of England. Well, we haven't heard of anything moving on that front. Now, that surprises me, or certainly tells me that perhaps his future is in this country, which leads you to Manchester City, leads you to Liverpool.
Well don't also Liverpool need him just as badly as Manchester City?
Matt, Liverpool needed him in the summer. You know, it's pretty clear. It was obvious, I think, for many they needed him in the summer. Maybe it was obvious a bit too late for Liverpool, hence why they left it so last minute. I have no doubts that will be a regret for Arne Slot and the Liverpool hierarchy that they didn't get that one over the line. He would have made a huge difference to that side. Now Liverpool are going to face competition from Manchester City and Arsenal, who are also showing interest in signing him in the summer. So watch this space. It could be a fire sale. Everybody looking for him.
Saw some big striker moves. We're just going to have a look at some of them now, because we spent a lot of time talking about these players. These are the big players that we've picked, the 6 big strikers that were signed in the summer for big money. Ekitike, Voltemada, Gyökeres, Šeško, Isak and Wissa. There was a lot of movement, wasn't there? But have they made the impact that was expected, Chris, given the outlays that we saw?
I mean, yeah, well, it's lovely order there on the graphics, so we can kind of go down on who's done best to worst. Wasn't expecting that.
Descending,
well done, my graphics team. Look,
debatable.
Hugo Ekitike, I think, undeniable success. Obviously injured at the moment. Nick Voltemada as well. I think Newcastle will be very happy with that return. I think now we go down the list and we start to see where there might be some misses rather than hits. Victor Gyökeres came to Arsenal as somebody who was meant to be guaranteeing goals. We're talking about ready-made goals and a ready-made goal scorer. 5 in 19 with a few of those as penalties. I don't think they would have been happy with that return, although Mikel Arteta is saying that he would improve. Same for Benjamin Šeško as well. I think 4 in 17, we expected more there. Isak, we know he got off to a slow start because of his pre-season, and Wissa as well was injured for the first part of the season. But it's just interesting at the moment. You look at the Premier League top goal scorer chance. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's up there on a free transfer. Bruno Guimaraes as a midfielder is up there with 8 goals. Antoine Semenyo is a winger. We know that football's played slightly differently these days, so wingers often do find themselves up in them goal-scoring charts. But to me, it's no surprise that teams are looking around for strikers, because at the moment, it just doesn't seem like teams are getting their value for money, or they certainly haven't from that graphic this window.